Hey, hey, hey. Hello, 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 and welcome to 2021. No, seriously, welcome to this episode of Office Hours with Lanora, still the home edition. Thank you, Corona. But Happy New Year to you all. Welcome, welcome. So glad that you can join me today. It is January 6th, 2021. Let's just give a round of applause for that. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it through a tumultuous 2020, a pandemic, still in the midst of it. Cases are still rising, but vaccines are flowing, and that's a good thing. I am so glad that you've had a chance to stop by this Facebook Live, YouTube video, and you are interested in learning about taking a webinar. So that's our topic for today, how to learn via a live webinar. Let's just talk about the elephant that's in the room. Learning via a webinar for many people can be hard. It can. It has also been one of those things where folks have had to kind of weigh the pros and cons of, if this is going to be a new normal, I need to get with it. So I want to make your experience in taking a real estate webinar seamless as best as I can. Get it? I get it. Nerves. Maybe you've been out of school for a period of time. Maybe that's just not your learning style. But with everything else that's going on in the world, with many schools not offering in-person classroom sessions, you have the time. Some of us even have the money because the government has provided us with some stimulus packages in our bank accounts. And since you have the extra money, let's just do it. So I want you to be successful in your attempt at earning a real estate license through a virtual or webinar type course. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Before we get into the webinar course, let me just say this. The mindset has to be different when you're doing a virtual type class. I get it. Some of us have taken coursework at a post-secondary or college level and you didn't like it, or you absolutely loved it because you got to do things at your own pace, your own time, your way. The webinar experience can be quite similar or it can be quite different depending on how you look at it. So let's talk about what a webinar actually is. It is an online meeting or a presentation held via the internet in real time. So it's virtual. When I talk to students every day, I tell them we simply picked the classroom up and brought it to your house. That to me is the best definition of what a webinar is. There is a live instructor. It is real time. There are other students, but it's from the comfort of your home and wherever else my instructor is. He or she is going over the same materials that you would get in a classroom setting, the same materials that you would find online. It's conversational. You get to engage. You get to speak your question. So just like I'm talking right now, had this been a webinar, you would be able to ask me a question that I'm able to answer in real time for you. Or there's the chat feature where you can put questions in a chat box. So all of my texters, you can do that too if you're really quick with those thumbs and fingers to get questions answered that you may have. It doesn't negate or take away from the experience of if another student had a question that you didn't think of and they ask that question or type that question, it's still that similar flow like you're in a classroom. What I want to talk about right now are the benefits of taking a webinar course. And I kind of sort of hinted upon some of these already. You now have the time. Who would have told us 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, that many of us would be sitting at home, phone call, a deadly virus was lurking, and it was safer for us to be at home, protected, and just kind of remaining and keeping with social distancing. Nobody would have been, you're like, you're crazy. Where's that gonna happen? Who says so? Well, that's what's happening right now. And for a ton of folks, especially last year, it was record-breaking for our school. A ton of people chose to use the webinar platform or that sort of mode to take their real estate course. The benefit was they had the time. They absolutely had the time because, hey, I'm at home. Some of us are working from home. I'm in my home office, AKA an extra bedroom that I had that I converted to a home office. And when I log off, if there are other additional things that I want to do, like take a webinar course, I simply just log into that platform and get started. Another benefit of taking a webinar course is interactive. So you get to hear, you get to speak, you get to, some cases, see. You'll always see the instructor. One of the major differences that we do at the Realtors Real Estate School versus other schools, we use a platform called Go-To Training. Similar to Zoom, one of the major differences is you don't see everyone. Because I'll tell you about Miss Lanora. She knows it, okay? I would be looking at your backgrounds, seeing what color pictures and pillows you have on your sofa, completely distracted versus learning about a real estate course. So we've taken that elephant out of the room. This way, when students log into a webinar with our school, you're only seeing the instructor. The instructor is the only person that you're seeing, and you're also seeing the PowerPoint presentations or other supplemental materials that we're using via your computer, okay? That distraction prevents a lot of people from wandering. And that's a plus that I think, and using that Go-To Training platform has helped us in that way. You have the ability, like I said, to discuss. It's engaging. So we still have that classroom element, but we're just in different places right now. So we can hear you. You can openly speak as long as you have a computer or some form of technology that allows you to speak with audio, and it'll work. You can send and receive information in real time. So what I mean by that is the instructor, let's say that we're talking about a math problem. You know, that old crazy math stuff. But let's say we're going over a commission problem and the instructor is speaking, or they have a presentation that's already pretty and typed up and created, and for whatever reason students are just not understanding the formula or how to get it. The instructor in real time can take that PowerPoint presentation down, put up a sheet of paper, and write out 1 + 1 = 2, okay? In real time, and break that problem down to make it more accessible and informative for you, the student, okay? It's besides the convenient part of it, I think the convenient part of a webinar supersedes everything else, because you don't have to travel to our school or any other school. You don't have to, the commute, you don't have to you know, dress or feel like you have to dress in a certain fashion in order to come into a professional building, to sit in a classroom, that sort of thing. Yes, there are advantages to being one-on-one, you know, face-to-face, I say eyeball to eyeball with the instructor. Yes, there are benefits to that. But because we can't do that right now, don't let that be your stumbling block to get you through a real estate course, okay? Let's now talk about what's necessary for you to be successful or have a successful experience in a webinar. And then I have some things that I want to show you guys to kind of make sure that you know what I'm talking about. You need a computer. You need a computer or some form of technology that you can see and hear. So whether that be a desktop, whether that be a Mac, whether that be a laptop, a tablet, your cell phone. Don't listen. I get it. Not everyone can afford a tablet or a desktop or a laptop. And all you have right now is your cell phone with internet connectivity and access. You better be on that cell phone. You do your best, but don't let that limitation just stop you. I have multiple technology that I can use, but that's not the case for everybody. But you can still accomplish the goal, okay? So your computer, your tablet, your phone, it has to have internet connectivity. You probably want to have high-speed internet connectivity, only because we may be watching videos, or there may be large files that you'll need to download, and you don't want to be like, dun, 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 like dial up, taking forever to access this information, okay? Another thing you want to have is a webcam with audio. Now, what we don't do in all of our classes, you probably won't use your webcam, but I know in our interactive, that final 15 hours of a course, some of the instructors do like to use your webcams to finally see what students look like so that they can feel more comfortable in sharing information that way. And then now people can be on camera for a few short minutes the teacher can pass the controls over to the student to have them to give their answer. And now you're feeling at ease because you're like, okay, I can share, I can participate, I can be the teacher's helper for the day or the instructor's helper for the day, that sort of thing. But is a webcam necessary? No. Audio is, okay? Another thing is a printer. A printer. I don't care where you go. In a webinar environment, in a virtual environment, assume things will be virtual. So that may mean you're not getting shipped a book. You may get a code. We send redemption codes for students to redeem that code to get an ebook, an electronic book. So because you're getting an electronic book, you're not getting that physical book in your hand. Some students may want to print materials. We're going to be providing other supplemental materials in the form of handouts, questions, practice questions for exams, study aids, those sorts of things. You might want to print that to make it tangible to help you as you're preparing for your licensing exam. Is a printer required? No, it's not, but it's definitely a game changer and it's going to help you stay on task, keep things in order, and to make sure you have the necessary tools to be successful. So you don't have to go out and get the most expensive printer. You don't need one that's going to print in color. Just get you a basic printer, or if you have to go to FedEx, Kinko's, wherever these places are, just set some budgetary dollars aside for printing purposes, okay? Paper. Writing utensils. You are in school, so you're going to be taking notes. You're going to be writing things down. Don't just think that you're going to be sitting in front of a computer all day doing nothing. You better have your notebook, something to write notes in and something to write those notes down with. You will need a basic calculator. So these are just two examples of basic calculators. Notice that they only have the basic keys on them. Don't come in here with trying to get these scientific $200 calculators. They're not going to let you use those when you go to take your licensing exam. You get you something with the percent, plus, minus, the division, subtraction. That's all you need. You don't need all of the extra bells and whistles. I like to stay within budget, okay? Another thing that you're going to need, get you some Postit Notes. Now you're like, Lenore, if I have an ebook, what am I using Postit Notes for? To keep your notes organized. So I like to get all of the different size Postit Notes because depending on, you can purchase a book. It's an additional $60 as a part of your course. So you'll have both an ebook and a physical book if you wanted to purchase one directly from the school. What if you do have that book? Now you can highlight, you can put those Postit Notes, get you some highlighters, keep those Postit Notes to keep everything organized. When you're taking notes, go to the store and invest in index cards. Index cards are going to be another game changer because when you're studying, you want to be able to pull out those key terms or problems that you can write down and have in your arsenal to be able to go back to at a later date. Or if I'm studying, preparing for the licensing exam or my final exam, I might be studying fair housing or agency of some sort. And I can just look or pull my index cards out that related to that subject and study directly from there versus going all the way back through the book again. Told you, game changer. Okay, here's another thing that I find that a lot of students are not doing, and I want to help you be successful. Get you a folder. Get a folder. Put everything real estate in that folder because as you're completing your course, you're going to have supplemental materials, handouts that we've provided to you, things that we might have emailed to you to save. You're going to create an IL number with the state so that they use that number to help you or identify you when it's time for you to register for your exam. You need to keep up with this stuff. All of your login information, usernames, passwords, all of that stuff. So many students create an account, create login information and passwords, and then when they need to use it again, they can't remember it. And now you have to reset your password or create a new password. And it causes an issue when the systems from the school to the state are trying to communicate because they don't know who you are. You may even create duplicate accounts or a new account. And now your transcript information is in the old account and nothing is in the new account. And now you can't schedule your exam. I hear about it all the time. Get you a little 10-cent folder and put all your stuff in that folder, okay? Thank you very much. All right. Last but not least, 2 other things, or 3. Headphones. I have a headphone connected to a cord that I use plugged directly into my laptop, or I have my old fancy dandy AirPods that I just keep the charger right here on my desk and I have access to it. Because if you're in a home like me, I have 2 e-learners that are in my home and they're all on myself and my 2 e-learners, we're all on the computer. So they could be talking to their teacher and other students, as well as if I'm working, I'm talking to students. I might be in a meeting or on a Zoom or something, but I don't want to hear what's going on around me because that's a distraction. Invest in headphones. You'd be surprised. And if you can find the one with noise cancellation as a part of them, get those. You'd be surprised how it just keeps you focused because every little nick, every little ding or everything that's falling, you start to just try to look where everything is. Don't do that. Stay on task. Stay focused. What else? HDMI cord. HDMI or Ethernet cord. Write that down. Ethernet or HDMI cord. On the confirmations that I send out to the students to say, hey, congratulations, you're getting ready to start your real estate career. Here's your webinar login. Here's the link for the webinar. Here's some things that I recommend that you get. I talk about the note cards, the pens, the paper, the headphones, the printer, and I also mention this. I said game changer twice already. This is the super game changer, okay? Because I told you I have 2 e-learners here, plus myself. If we are all on the Wi-Fi for my house, and for whatever reason, that Wi-Fi is acting really janky for the day, it's gonna throw off the connectivity. But if you are termed hardwired to your modem, that box that the cable company gives you, that you plug everything in, that creates the Wi-Fi, if you are plugged in hardwired with a cord, whether it's a HDMI, which is this one, or that thicker cord. We call it an Ethernet that looks like a phone, a cord that you plug into your phone. Whether you're plugged in, you're considered hardwired. So when the Wi-Fi is acting funky and kicking you on and off, that shouldn't affect you if you're hardwired, because you're going directly to, you're not going based on, space. Okay? So I recommend, and I highly recommend, that you go to the Best Buys, the Walmarts, wherever technology like this is sold, and get you either an Ethernet, or I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this one is a HDMI. Can you guys see that? Cord that is also Ethernet on it. Okay, sorry if you can't see it, but that's what I got. Here's the last one, and they're dirty, so don't judge me. These are blue light glasses. Blue light. So where do you get these, Lenora? You can buy blue light glasses from all these different online glass distributors, Walgreens, Walmart, wherever. Don't go get the most expensive ones. You don't need the expensive ones. The blue light glasses help, because I sit in front of a computer hours out of the day. In a majority of my day, they help to reflect the light that's coming off of your computer to help your eyes. I'm 45 years old. These buddies don't see the way that they used to. And I have a rather thick prescription too. So I get my glasses, every pair of glasses typically that I'm purchasing right now have that blue light reflective protection in them. Because if I'm sitting in front of my computer for long periods of time, I don't want my eyes drying out or damaging my eyes because I'm looking at a monitor and a screen for an excessive amount of time. So those are just a few things that I want you to have to be successful with your internet or webinar experience. Let's also talk about some additional tips to help you in your webinar experience that I believe will help you be successful. The first one, get past your fears. You wouldn't understand the amount of people that in conversations are telling me, oh, I'm so scared of a webinar. Oh, that's not my learning style. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, when are the classrooms opening again? Because I just don't learn like that. How do you know? How do you know you don't learn like that? You haven't tried it. You haven't tried it. All of last year, during the webinar conversion, when we converted from classroom to virtual, we offered a no-risk guarantee to our students at the school. That no-risk guarantee expired at the end of the year because now people have become more accustomed to this virtual environment. But basically, if a student did not feel comfortable with the webinar experience, they had the option to transfer to a classroom when one became available. Or if they canceled their course in a timely fashion, 100% of their money was refunded back to them. Now, that option has gone away. So don't call me asking for that option. It's over. It's done with. But the whole purpose of the webinar is to help again, put you at ease because you're in the comfort of your own home. You have the wherewithal to put your feet up on the sofa, on the table, lay in the bed, wherever. Get past the what you can't do and start living outside of the box and outside of your limits. Because if you can do this, you should be able to do anything. Take the brakes off of your learning style, okay? Another one is to prepare in advance. Learn the platform that you'll be using. I said the platform that we use here at the Realtors Real Estate School is the go-to training platform. I personally, that's me, that's sending you the confirmations once you register for a course. So I know that if you're registering in a timely fashion, I'm sending you that confirmation with all of the to-dos to get prepared for your webinar to you in a timely fashion. I recommend, highly suggest, go on, add your name, your email to the link for the webinar so that you get all of the reminders, as well as you get to test your audio. You get to even test to see if you can see things. So for our platform, it'll say, you're waiting for Olivia. When you see that and you're in a testing format and not an actual webinar, the live one that you'll be in, that lets you know you've made it successfully. You've done everything you were supposed to do. Okay? It's better to prepare in advance. My pet peeve is when people register for the course weeks, days, months in advance, but 2 minutes before the class starts, they try to do everything. You're in a tizzy at that point. And especially if it's a new learning style, a new mode, learning as a part of a webinar, you ticked off. You ticked off. You're like, oh, what do I do? And this not working, and I can't get the computer to work. And 30 minutes before, I'm usually there an hour before, but 30 minutes before each one of the webinars start, I'm in front of my computer. I'm fielding phone calls from students that have waited the last minute to do things. I'm registering students. I am helping the instructors. I am making sure that students know what to expect. So I'm wearing different hats at least 30 minutes before each one of the webinars. Do me a favor. Get yourself set up and acclimated to everything before 5 minutes before your webinar starts. We ask every student to join your webinar 15 minutes in advance of the course starting. That way, if you're having some hiccups, your IT designated tech person like myself or Casey or Christy or Kirk at the Realtors Real Estate School will be able to assist you. So help us help you, okay? We talk about be on time. I just said 15 minutes before the start of each session, you should be logged in. Our instructors have been taught and are trained to have the webinar up and running 30 minutes prior to the start of each session. This is also a good time if you wanted to start like study groups or something like that amongst other students. It can become conversational that way too. You can come and join 30 minutes before your class starts. And it's a great way for students to have a few minutes to say, hey, what did you get for answer number 2 on the homework assignment? And how did you get that answer? And you feel like, kind of walking me through a process too, even before the instructor is there. But even before the class starts, you guys are kind of finding that community, the camaraderie of taking this course together. And it helps. I mentioned be hardwired to your modem. That's huge. Be patient. Stay focused. Have fun. This doesn't have to be the end all of everything. A webinar is an access point to get you where you're trying to go as a part of earning a license. This does not have to be a punishment for anyone. If you're looking at it as a punishment, it's going to treat you like a punishment, the experience. You're not going to enjoy it. It's going to be hard for you to study. It's going to be even harder for you to retain the information, and the experience is going to, for lack of better words, suck. So do yourself, start with positivity before each one of the sessions begin. Coach yourself up to feel good about the experience. Psych your mind out to say, hey, I'm going in there today and I'm going to have the best experience on this webinar. I will be a sponge and soak everything up that I need to know to help me be successful on my journey in earning my license. You did it. Here's the big one. Read the book. Read the book. Read the materials that we're sending to you. Why would you wait the first day of class to start looking at the information for the first time? If we're sending you the book in advance with that code, the ebook, crack it open. Flip through it. Even if you're just glancing through the stuff, chances are, because I'm visual, you'll retain much more of the information a little more if you have prior experience with it. So stop being last minute with stuff. That will ultimately help you in a webinar situation. I know it works for some if you're in person, because you can just hurry up and sit in your seat and start writing. That might not always be the case with the webinar, okay? If you're going to get the book in advance, you need to order it. Because remember I told you, you get an ebook. You get a code, a redemption code for that. A physical book has to be shipped to you. So if your class starts on Saturday and it's Friday, we can't ship you a book that's going to get to you tomorrow. UPS is struggling right now. They're still getting packages from Christmas to people. How I know? I just got one yesterday. So we need the allowed or appropriate amount of shipping time to get a book to you that you're ordering. So for example, for students that are starting Saturday classes with us this Saturday, hint, hint, I can ship books today to them. And in most cases, they'll get it tomorrow or within a couple of days. But I like to say offer 5 to 7 business days for shipping, because we can ship and send it the same day, but we don't know what the carrier, UPS, FedEx, or whomever, what issues might be lurking on their side. So give them the benefit of the doubt as well. All right, that's it. I've shared those helpful tips and hints and things that I think will work in a webinar environment or experience to help you be successful. I understand. I get it. It's not the most ideal situation for most people, but you survived 2020. You went through a storm and you came out a little wet. Some of us came out dry. Some of us, it helped to discipline us, to get us prepared for 2021. Use your pandemic time wisely. Again, I'll say that. Use your pandemic time wisely. We're in the winter months. The spring market will be opening up in March. You can finish a real estate course within a couple of weeks, a few months to get you prepared for that spring and summer market. Don't let a webinar prevent you from doing that. If there is anything that I can do to help you with your webinar experience at the Realtors Real Estate School, I will move the heavens and the earth for you to have an excellent experience here at our school. All you got to do is call me. All you got to do is email me. I'm there. Gotcha. Okay? So let's talk about some upcoming webinars at the Realtors Real Estate School. I've mentioned one already. It is the Saturday broker webinar starting this Saturday, January 9th. It's 10 consecutive Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4:30. Yes, you get breaks. Yes, although you're sitting or might be standing, those are some good tips too. Stand up, move around a little bit so that you're not constantly sitting down in your seats all day and feeling your feet and your legs go to sleep. But back to the program, Lenore. January 9th starts our Saturday sessions. January 20th, we'll start our morning only sessions. It's 3 mornings per week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 a.m. until 12:45. Takes a little over 6 weeks to finish that group of that webinar format. February 15th, we'll start our evening sessions for the broker course, 5:30 to 9:15. Also on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The pricing, again, for the 75-hour broker webinar is a total of $704, $579 for your first 60 hours, and $125 for your final 15 hours, okay? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I forgot one thing that I wanted you to have as a part of your webinar experience, which is crucial. Let me get it. Snacks. You're at home or wherever you are. Make sure that you're staying, well, I don't want to promote anybody, but hydrated. Water is going to be huge for you, or whatever your beverage of choice is, stick to the water. Because if you get dehydrated, you oftentimes start to shut down, you get sleepy, you're not in the best frame of mind. So I like this popcorn, not promoting anybody, but you notice it says smart. So for whatever reason, I think the popcorn helps me. Don't judge me. And then fruit, that's another alternative because you're getting the necessary fiber and sugars and natural sugars and things like that to kind of keep you up, and you're not crashing when you're eating candy bars and stuff like that. But do what works best for you. Hey, I want to thank you again for joining me on this episode of Office Hours with Lanora. For the month of January, I will be stopping by every Wednesday to offer techniques, tips, talking about earning a leasing agent license, what the pandemic or the effect of the pandemic on earning a license are a couple of them that'll be coming up. But I want to start the year off strong. I got my workout clothes on because I'm helping you to build up your real estate career. I'm working this thing out. I'm getting ready to help you build a strong foundation to take this real estate career to zoom land. So I look forward to working with you. Again, thank you for joining me. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.